I'm coming to you today with a very personal message. I just felt compelled to share this with you. It's about my own recent journey. And as you may expect, it's all about love and intimacy. So, love and intimacy really has been a theme for me throughout my whole life. It started when I was an infant, deeply in love with my dad, which I, of course, didn't really discover uh, until my older age, where I was willing then to acknowledge it. And then through my puberty and my relationships, intimate relationships, and also friendships and with people, relationship with people. So it's that theme that really expresses itself now, of course, also in my life's work, has been over the last 20 years. And to teach about love and intimacy, what's really called for is to keep my own work going around love and intimacy, my own personal transformation in the realm of love and intimacy. And what I recently discovered is that the whole thing about loving, love, and being loved, and particularly that part of being loved, that still had traces for me around needing to be wanted. And in that need of being wanted, what it was connected with for me was that I needed to do something to be wanted, to be loved. Now that being wanted theme showed up, or need for being wanted showed up very early on in my life, actually when I was in the womb, when my parents deliberated of aborting me. I was born in 1949 and the war was over in 45. Between 45 and 49, I was going to be the fourth child in that time span. And I think my mother was depleted. Really, Germany was resource strapped. So having another child was a huge demand on her. I all can understand this from my conscious aware mind, from my linear mind. However, that experience that I had in the womb when I felt not being wanted, it felt like my life was at stake, like surviving. And so this really has been with me all my life, at certain moments more strongly. And then at times it was totally in the background. It didn't preoccupy me. And I have loved greatly in my life and still love greatly to this day. However, in this discovery of being loved and me being open to being loved without that sense of need to be wanted, to be desired. And that doesn't mean that I don't want to be desired, but as long as it is a need, that is where I'm not free. So I got to really look at this, face this, feel it. And as you know, over the last year since my hysterectomy, I really broke open into authenticity and vulnerability and that tender place, and to share that tender place with me. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this conversation today. So also in that tender place, I got in touch with being loved or wanting to be loved, still had a lot to do with that need for being wanted. And in order to be loved, to be wanted, I noticed that this hook I really made up when I was an infant, when I was, in utero, that hook of needing to be wanted was related to that I needed to do something. I needed to survive. I needed to show up pretty. I needed to look smart. I needed to convince you. I needed to control you. I needed to teach you so that you would get a great impact from my great knowledge, but all in service of then you being able to see that I'm wanted or wanting material. And so that has been coming crashing down for me over the last little while. And I got really confronted with that again in my life, even with having Freddie in my life, who is such a space holder for me in the realm of intimacy and love in my own exploration, and just being there, being present. And there was something for me to further clear. I'm still in the clearing process, so I don't come to you like the before and after, the after now. No, I'm still in the clearing process. However, I'm in a place where I can see it, where I can move with it, where I can consciously leave the need for being wanted in the past, like placing it there so that it doesn't invade me any longer and then colors my relationship with Freddie, my relationship with others. So, in that clearing process, what opens up, of course, is also love for myself and really seeing that I don't need to be someone or someone else, or even, today I'm not wearing any makeup. If you can see it, just the lipstick, but that's all, no eye makeup. And just really being myself. I don't have to make myself pretty. I don't have to show up smart so that I can convince you that you may want me. And I can just be myself, my raw self, my open self, and just the beauty that I am without having to make myself beautiful. That was a little, tender to have this conversation, like really coming from the heart. And I feel the tenderness, the vulnerability. And that is where I'm at. And I want to share it with you. Perhaps it encourages you or inspires you to look for yourself where you may want to do the unhooking of something that no longer serves, that actually may be in the very way of you being who you are and feeling love, being loved and loving to the fullest, the way you may aspire towards. So I want to thank you for listening and for being my partner in that, in the exploration into love and intimacy. And I'll be seeing you soon. Lots of love from my heart.